Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin has shown volatility with a general upward trend. The support price is consistently around $79,600, while the resistance fluctuates around $85,200. The RSI values have mostly been below 80, indicating that the asset is not consistently overbought, but have dipped below 36.3, suggesting potential oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have also widened, indicating increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy that combines trend following and mean reversion. We will implement a buy strategy when the RSI falls below 38 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, on April 14, 2025, the RSI was 51.8 and the lower Bollinger Band was $77,400. We will enter a long position at $77,400. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $76,300 to protect against a potential downward breakout. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $85,200. If the price reaches $85,200, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $77,400 to secure profits. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $88,300, which is the top of the Bollinger Band on April 14, 2025. This strategy combines the benefits of both trend following and mean reversion, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum has shown considerable volatility, with a recent downtrend followed by a slight recovery. The RSI consistently dips below 30, indicating oversold conditions, while the Bollinger Bands demonstrate periods of contraction and expansion. The support level remains steady at $1,520, and the resistance is at $1,880. Given this analysis, I recommend a combined strategy incorporating RSI and Bollinger Bands. Initially, on April 15, 2025, when the forecast price is $1,550, enter a long position. Place a stop-loss order at $1,500, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. Set an initial target price at $1,660, aligning with a previous resistance level and a reasonable profit target. Subsequently, as the price approaches the $1,660 target, reassess the market conditions. If the RSI rises above 60, consider taking partial profits and tightening the stop-loss to $1,580. If the price breaks through $1,660 and the RSI remains below 80, extend the target price to $1,880, the resistance level. Conversely, if the price fails to reach $1,660 and the RSI falls below 30 again, consider exiting the position or reducing the position size. This dynamic approach, combining technical indicators and support/resistance levels, aims to maximize returns while mitigating risks in the volatile Ethereum market. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a slight upward trend, but with considerable volatility. The RSI readings fluctuate between 31.4 and 50.6, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is often near the lower band, suggesting potential for a rebound. Considering these factors, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on short-term price movements. The strategy will be a long position when the RSI is below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $2.03 when the forecast price on April 21, 2025, hits the lower Bollinger Band of $1.82. Set a stop-loss at $1.76, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price is $2.16, aligning with the recent resistance level. If the price reaches $2.16, consider moving the stop-loss to break even to secure profits and allow for further upside potential. This combined strategy leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a slight upward trend, with the price fluctuating between the support of $552 and the resistance of $597. The RSI indicates periods of both oversold and overbought conditions, suggesting potential entry points. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the lower band, indicating a potential bounce. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focusing on short-term gains. We will enter a long position at $581, placing a stop loss at $552 to protect against potential downside risk. The initial target price will be $597, aligning with the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below $35, which it has done in the past, we will enter a long position at $552. The stop loss will be set at $549, and the target price will be $587. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds $80, we will avoid entering a position. The forecast data suggests a gradual increase in price, supporting the long positions. Combining these signals with the Bollinger Bands, we can create a dynamic and adaptive trading strategy to maximize returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and upward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates, indicating indecision in the market. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price swings. Considering the support price of $125 and resistance price of $132, a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands is recommended. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 35 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The entry price will be $103, with a stop loss set at $98 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $115, aiming to capture a quick profit from the anticipated bounce. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the forecast data. If the price approaches the lower Bollinger Band and the RSI confirms an oversold condition, we will enter a long position at $120. The stop loss will be placed at $115, and the first target price will be $126. If the price continues to rise and the RSI reaches 60, we will move the stop loss to $123 and adjust the target price to $128. This dynamic approach allows us to capitalize on the upward momentum while protecting our capital. The overall portfolio will prioritize this combined RSI and Bollinger Band strategy due to its ability to adapt to changing market conditions and potential for high returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows an upward trend, with recent price action testing the resistance level of $0.255. The RSI has moved above 50, indicating strengthening momentum, and the forecast predicts continued price increases, reaching $0.255. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.248. The stop loss will be set at $0.244, just above the support level, to limit potential losses if the price reverses. The initial target price will be $0.255, the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. Therefore, we will set a second target price at $0.254, slightly below the forecast peak. If the price reaches $0.255, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.248 to secure profits and protect against a sudden downturn. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators for a high-return investment strategy. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight downtrend over the past 2 weeks, but the forecast suggests a potential stabilization around $0.155 to $0.16. The RSI values hover between 32.8 and 48.8, indicating neither extreme oversold nor overbought conditions. Considering the support price of $0.154 and the Bollinger Bands, a conservative strategy focusing on short-term gains is recommended. I propose a strategy based on the RSI, combined with Bollinger Bands for confirmation. The entry price will be $0.156 when the RSI dips below 35 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The stop loss will be set at $0.148 to protect against further downside. The initial target price will be $0.16, aligning with the resistance level. If the price reaches $0.16, we will adjust the stop loss to $0.156 to secure profits and allow for potential upward movement. A secondary target price of $0.168 can be considered if the price breaks through the resistance, but this requires tighter stop loss management at $0.16. This portfolio prioritizes capital preservation and aims for moderate returns within a defined risk range. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano exhibits a volatile trend with periods of consolidation and minor upward movement. The RSI fluctuates between 33.2 and 49.1, indicating occasional oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has recently been near the lower band, suggesting a potential rebound. Considering the support price of $0.609 and the forecast showing a gradual increase, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price should be $0.634, coinciding with a recent price level and a slight upward momentum. A stop loss should be placed at $0.609, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses if the price declines further. The initial target price should be $0.659, aligning with the previous resistance level and a reasonable profit target. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands indicators. When the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, initiate a long position at $0.621. Set a stop loss at $0.609. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking profits at $0.64. If the RSI rises above 70, indicating an overbought condition, close the position. This combined strategy leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. The final portfolio will consist of long positions with entry prices of $0.621, stop loss at $0.609, and target prices of $0.64. Based on the historical data and forecast, Avalanche demonstrates a fluctuating trend with periods of consolidation and upward momentum. The RSI consistently hovers around the mid-range, occasionally dipping into oversold territory, below 34.5, and approaching overbought levels, above 55.7. The Bollinger Bands show volatility, with the price frequently touching or crossing the upper and lower bands. Considering this, a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands is optimal. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 35 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, aiming to capitalize on potential rebounds. For example, on April 10, 2025, the RSI was 36.4 and the price was 18.4. We'll enter a long position at $18.4, setting a stop loss at $17.5, slightly below the lower Bollinger Band, and a target price of $20.5, near the resistance level. To refine the strategy, we'll implement a dynamic adjustment based on the forecast. If the forecast price for the following day is above the center of the Bollinger Bands, we'll tighten the stop loss to $19.2. Conversely, if the forecast price is below the center, we'll maintain the initial stop loss. For instance, on April 15, 2025, the forecast price is $18.5, which is below the center of the Bollinger Bands, $18.9, so we keep the stop loss at $17.5. The target price remains at $20.5. This portfolio prioritizes capitalizing on short-term volatility while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement and leveraging the support and resistance levels to define profit targets. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink demonstrates a downtrend with price fluctuations around the $12 to $13 range. The RSI consistently hovers around the mid-40s, suggesting neutral momentum, but occasionally dips below 30, indicating oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show periods of contraction and expansion, with the price frequently touching the lower band. Considering the forecast price declining to $11.9, a cautious approach is warranted. I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on potential short-term bounces while managing downside risk. My recommended strategy involves a long position when the RSI falls below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. For example, if the price reaches $10.7, enter a long position at $10.7. Set a stop loss at $10.6, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. A reasonable target price would be $12.1, near the support level, offering a potential gain of $1.4. This strategy combines RSI oversold signals with Bollinger Band confirmation for higher probability trades. The forecast price suggests a potential for further decline, so a conservative target price near the support level is prudent. Based on the historical data and forecast, eCash shows a fluctuating trend with recent upward momentum. The RSI consistently remained below 50, indicating a generally weak condition, but the recent rise to 48.9 suggests a potential shift. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, indicating increased volatility. The price has bounced off the support level of 0.0000192 consistently. Considering this, I propose a strategy focusing on short-term upward movements while managing risk. My strategy is to enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the support level of 0.0000192. Specifically, enter at 0.0000192. Set a stop loss slightly below the support at 0.0000191 to limit potential losses. The target price will be set at the nearest resistance level of 0.0000204, providing a reasonable profit margin. If the RSI reaches above 70 and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, exit the position immediately to avoid potential downturns. This strategy combines support and resistance levels with RSI and Bollinger Band signals for a balanced approach. Based on the historical data and forecast, Celestia exhibits a clear downtrend. The price has been consistently falling from April 1, 2025, and the forecast for the next week projects further declines. The support price remains at $2.42, while the resistance is $2.65. The RSI has mostly been below 50, indicating bearish momentum, with several days dipping below the oversold level of 20. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price is currently trading near the lower band, suggesting potential for a bounce, but the overall trend remains downward. Therefore, I recommend a short selling strategy with an entry price of $2.44. Place a stop-loss order at $2.65 to protect against a potential upward reversal, and set a target price of $2.24 based on the forecast. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 20, it signals an oversold condition, suggesting a potential short-term bounce. However, given the prevailing downtrend, I'll prioritize the short-selling position. We can consider a partial profit-taking strategy at $2.4, moving the stop-loss to break even. If the price approaches the upper Bollinger Band, it could signal a temporary upward movement. In that case, we can consider covering a portion of our short position and adjusting the stop-loss accordingly. Ultimately, the primary goal is to capitalize on the ongoing downtrend, with the final target price remaining at $2.24. Based on the historical data and forecast, Berachain exhibits a downtrend with significant volatility. The price has been consistently below the resistance level of $5.58 and approaching the support level of $3.87. The RSI values have been consistently below 50, indicating a bearish momentum. Considering the forecast for the next week, the price is expected to continue its downward trajectory, fluctuating around $3.77 to $3.22. Therefore, a short position strategy is recommended. We will utilize a combination of RSI and Bollinger Bands to refine our entry and exit points. Our strategy involves entering a short position when the RSI falls below 30 and the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. Specifically, we will enter a short position at $3.22. The stop loss will be set at $3.77, just above the forecast high for the week, to protect against unexpected upward movements. The initial target price will be $3.87, aligning with the support level. If the price reaches the support level, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $3.22 and set a new target price at $4.13. This adaptive approach aims to maximize profits while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum name service shows a downtrend with significant volatility. The RSI consistently dips below 30, indicating oversold conditions, while the Bollinger Bands show price fluctuations around the center line. Considering the forecast for the next week, the price is expected to remain around $13.4 to $13.9, with support at $13.6. Therefore, I recommend a contrarian strategy, anticipating a potential bounce after being oversold. We will implement a buying strategy when the RSI falls below 25, and the price touches the support level of $13.6. The entry price will be $13.6. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $13, and the target price will be $14.5, near the resistance level. To maximize returns, I suggest a layered approach. When the price reaches $14.5, take 50% of the position and set a stop loss at $14.2. Then, keep the remaining 50% of the position open, with a stop loss at $13.9, targeting $14.9. This strategy balances risk and reward, capitalizing on the anticipated rebound while protecting against further downside. This portfolio combines the RSI and Bollinger Band strategies, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Avalanche demonstrates a fluctuating trend with periods of consolidation and upward momentum. The RSI consistently hovers around the mid-range, occasionally dipping into oversold territory, below 34.5, and approaching overbought levels, above 55.7. The Bollinger Bands show volatility, with the price frequently touching or crossing the upper and lower bands. Considering this, a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands is optimal. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 35 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, aiming to capitalize on potential rebounds. For example, on April 10, 2025, the RSI was 36.4 and the price was 18.4. We'll enter a long position at $18.4, setting a stop loss at $17.5, slightly below the lower Bollinger Band, and a target price of $20.5, near the resistance level. To refine the strategy, we'll implement a dynamic adjustment based on the forecast. If the forecast price for the following day is above the center of the Bollinger Bands, we'll tighten the stop loss to $19.2. Conversely, if the forecast price is below the center, we'll maintain the initial stop loss. For instance, on April 15, 2025, the forecast price is $18.5, which is below the center of the Bollinger Bands, $18.9, so we keep the stop loss at $17.5. The target price remains at $20.5. This portfolio prioritizes capitalizing on short-term volatility while managing risk through strategic stop-loss placement and leveraging the support and resistance levels to define profit targets. Based on the historical data and forecast, VeChain shows a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI consistently remains below 50, indicating a generally weak momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a potential for a breakout. Considering the support price of 0.0212 and resistance of 0.0234, and the forecast prices hovering around 0.022 to 0.023, I recommend a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will implement a long position when the RSI dips below 30 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, on April 14, 2025, the RSI was 49.9 and the lower Bollinger Band was 0.019. Let's enter a long position at $0.0193. The stop loss should be set just below the lower Bollinger Band at $0.0188 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $0.0234. If the price reaches $0.0234, we can consider moving the stop loss to the entry price of $0.0193 to secure profits and potentially ride the trend further. This combined strategy leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Decentraland shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within a range, with support around $0.262 and resistance around $0.315. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently not significantly oversold or overbought, fluctuating between 31 and 58. The Bollinger Band suggests that the price is currently near the middle band, indicating a period of consolidation. Considering the forecast for the next week, which predicts prices ranging from $0.247 to $0.265, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $0.247. The stop loss should be placed slightly below the recent low, at $0.203 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is set at the resistance level of $0.315. If the price reaches this target, consider taking partial profits and moving the stop loss to break even. If the price continues to rise, a second target price of $0.345 can be considered. This strategy combines the upward trend, support and resistance levels, and the RSI and Bollinger Bands indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Algorand shows a fluctuating trend with a recent upward bias. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the price has tested the support level of $0.188 multiple times, and the forecast suggests a potential dip to $0.172 in the short term. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility. Given this, I recommend a cautious long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.177, coinciding with the forecast price and a potential bounce from the recent support. A stop loss should be placed at $0.162, slightly below the recent low and the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.191, near the recent high and resistance level. To refine this strategy, we can incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands more actively. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to the position at $0.172. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, indicating an overbought condition, we will consider taking partial profits. The second target price will be $0.2, aligning with the resistance level. This blended approach, combining trend analysis, support/resistance levels, and technical indicators, should provide a balanced strategy for maximizing returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Render shows a slight upward trend, although with considerable volatility. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 50 mark, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. However, the forecast suggests a continued upward trajectory, with prices expected to hover around $3.7 to $3.8. Considering the Bollinger Bands, the price has recently been touching the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy with an entry price of $3.56. A stop loss should be placed at $3.47, just below the center of the Bollinger Bands, to protect against a sudden downturn. The initial target price is $3.81, aligning with the forecast high for the week. To maximize returns and manage risk, I propose a tiered target strategy. Once the initial target of $3.81 is reached, consider moving the stop loss to break even, $3.56, to secure profits and allow for further upside. A secondary target price of $3.86 can be set, contingent on the price sustaining above $3.81. This strategy combines the bullish forecast with the volatility indicated by the Bollinger Bands and RSI, aiming for a balance between profit potential and risk mitigation. The support price of $3.75 should be considered as a final safety net, with a stop loss adjusted accordingly if the price approaches this level. Based on the historical data and forecast, Raydium shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently fluctuates around the 40 to 55 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions for extended periods. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a potential breakout. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on upward momentum while managing risk. We'll implement a combined approach utilizing RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Specifically, I recommend entering a long position at $1.83 on April 15, 2025, when the forecast price is available. This entry point is near the support level and within the lower Bollinger Band, suggesting a potential bounce. Place a stop-loss order at $1.79, just below the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. Our initial target price is $2.03, aligning with the forecast for April 21, 2025. If the price reaches this target, we can consider moving the stop-loss to the entry price to secure profits and protect against a potential reversal. This strategy combines the support level, Bollinger Band analysis, and forecast data to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk.